Hi everyone, welcome to WIC channel. My name is Rifad. So this week's video will be talking about a stock I own and a stock that I love, and honestly the growth potential in front of them is immense and very interesting. Without a fact, it is Teladoc, and I really love them, and I really think that, like I said, they have a good potential. I think the stock price will start to reflect and start to grow in the coming years, and I think it can easily be a nice reward for patient long-term investors, I would say. I am mainly really bullish about Teladoc, and I will cover in this video in terms like why do I think is bullish and everything, and also cover the fact of the recent release of Amazon and potentially entering the telehealth, and why I don't see it as a threat, I would say. I will cover that. And so before I begin with the Amazon, because I want to start off with that, this video is not going to be typical where I kind of share my screen and like go to the financial, because I think the articles have been already released, and also the merger with Livongo and Teladoc and all the financials have already been released, and I think most people have already reviewed them. I just want to cover maybe certain items that I think was not covered in terms of in the merger document over here that was not covered. I think a lot of people didn't do it, so maybe do that, and mostly just going to be giving my thoughts, my opinion, maybe give you additional information which you did not know, or you learn, you never know, and that could maybe help you to make a decision of your own with your due diligence. In fact, don't forget that, your own stuff. So let's start with Amazon entering the telehealth. Why I don't see it as a threat, I would say, because the telehealth overall globally is big, and Amazon coming into it is just entering. And if Amazon sees as a potential area that they want to enter, that means they do in fact see it as there's growth there, and they know that the market is not saturated, and it's a potential that they can enter and take advantage of the growth, right? And also Amazon coming in is not always like a threat, I would say, because just right now recently news they released of like what happened with Berkshire, Amazon, and JP Morgan. They created a company called Haven 2 years ago, and at the end now they broke up because nothing really panned out of it. And I think that came out of the fact that even all the people started like stock started trading low, and at the end now nothing came out, and like at the end people just panic for nothing. It doesn't necessarily mean that them entering could potentially mean like a shake-up, or there's no room or stuff like that. I think overall in the global market itself, it has room to absorb Amazon, Teladoc, and all the company Y, Z, X, A, B, C. Every place has, right? So, and Teladoc's presence is not only in US, and Amazon was kind of starting only in US, I would say, and their presence is globally. So it is kind of like, the factor is that it has a good play, and Amazon coming in doesn't really cause a threat, I would say. It's just more like Amazon maybe showing that to investors, everyone, that hey, there's potential there. And like I think, and also Amazon coming in, just what is the value they're adding, right? Is like, why would someone use Amazon over Teladoc and like other companies, right? And as for Teladoc, the reason I don't see it as a threat, because Teladoc, with the integration of Livongo, it's a more of a whole person environment, which has like the person that before even they go see a doctor, now Teladoc gets all like the diabetes, hypertension, all this kind of data that they get, and that funnels into Teladoc, Telehealth. For example, your doctor uses Telehealth, Teladoc, can easily gather those data, understand. So the person has all in one, and usually when a doctor, I'm very happy if I'm a consumer, like, everything is in one. Like I just use the same software, same technology, and my doctor sees it over there, everything is done. Now I don't like skip right and left and right. So it's very lot complicated, and it's like, and you can see also the reason, like just go back a bit to the breakup, and now coming to the Amazon coming in, is the health sector is not an easy sector. It's very it's kind of difficult, I would say, and like it's hard. You can penetrate, but it won't necessarily mean that you succeed. How many doctors you have on your platform, how many patients you have on your platform, how many also like insurance, contracts, agreements you have also with people to start using your platform. All that kind of weighs in, right? It's not like a simple poof, you launched it. Like anyone can launch a telehealth online thing, you know, and like even like Livongo's application in a way was kind of easily replicable. So it's kind of the other stuff that kind of adds value to your services, you know, and overall, that's I don't see it as a threat. I think even them coming in, I'm welcoming it, you know, and like saying, come on, bring it on, and like let's innovate, let's get healthcare access to everyone. So yeah, and that's the reason I kind of don't see it as a threat. I just see it as, you know, like bring it on. I think it's opportunity, and I think they're kind of stamping the fact that there's growth in this area. So yeah, so now let's move on to the factor of like, why do I see a growth on Teladoc? And I would say it's for me, coming from a Livongo perspective, a shareholder, it's Livongo for me that adds the huge value to Teladoc, and that is something that even the board of directors, management, they did see, and they did mention it on this document over here, with the send the kind of the proxy vote for voting. They kind of, it's very interesting. I read through it, and they kind of go through how Teladoc ended up merging with Livongo, and like how the management's got in contact. So I kind of read that, and an interesting thing is Teladoc was looking back in April, in August, they were looking to acquire 3 companies. They don't name them in the document, they call them A, B, C, and a potential merger with Livongo. And honestly, out of all 4 options, the acquiring the company was kind of like the first option that they wanted to do, right? And they were looking into it, they were kind of going through it, and they did get in contact with Livongo, but was not really nothing really happened more, I would say, towards July. Where at the end, those 3 companies didn't pan out the purchase, so they kind of say, you know what, let's go with the merger, let's start making a plan to execute on the merger. And they realized, is what I'm going to say here, is that Teladoc realized, hey, Livongo, you have something that I want. And Livongo looks at Teladoc saying, hey, you have something that I want. And they just kind of said, let's merge and create a behemoth. You know, that's what happened. It's just a continuous growth loop, because like you have someone that before they go see a doctor, they kind of get their diabetics analyzed and all the data, and like get all the pre stuff, and like it's all stuff before you have an issue. And afterwards, if you do in fact have an issue, your doctor sees that, hey, come and see Telehealth, and like, oh, you see it, okay, continue monitoring, take your stuff with Livongo. So just kind of like, you know, the loop is just, the growth loop keeps on turning, and just keeps people on and on. And that's why I think they saw it, and that's what I see too, is like the potential of them is, and the synergy between those 2 companies are going to be interesting, because eventually Livongo would have, without fact, had to go into Teladoc's area, which is telehealth. Maybe down the line, maybe like 2, maybe 4 years down the line, they would have to go there. And Teladoc, same thing. So why don't we just save the trouble and all the money waste, and just like kind of merge and give shareholder value, everyone value, and like get the service out there, because you need to be fast in this kind of environment, and in technology you have to be fast. That I would say. And now with one of the reasons also I like Livongo is it's its contracts, right? And also Teladoc has the same concept, right? The contracts, agreements, and all the insurance that are using, the companies that are using, people that are using, that is what holds the values to your software. Like I told you, the technology that Livongo has and Teladoc, it's kind of easy to replicate. It's what do people want to use? Is the example you're using with the insurance saying, hey, use it. In that fact, you'll bring your costs down, company's costs down, start using it. So that agreement example with Blue Cross or other companies, those are hard, and they take long time to agree on, and they don't want to touch that for years again. So why do you think Livongo right now has the agreements and coming on board with Teladoc, so they can piggyback on all those agreements, and they're going to create extremely nice value afterwards. And that's what I kind of like about Livongo. And also coming from what I saw Livongo's growth, you know, Teladoc, I know going towards December was kind of like last year, not 2019, I would say, was kind of dropping before COVID, right? Then what happened is when before all the issues, and afterwards, like Livongo was growing before all of this, and once the issues came up and the closed lockdown came out, Livongo just kind of flew, and I think when going after that, it's just going to continue, and like we're going to slow down. But I honestly think that Livongo had a couple of more years of like growth in front of them compared to maybe Teladoc was kind of slowing down. But now both of them connecting together, creating a more synergy between them, would just kind of catalyst and just create another catalyst for Teladoc, which I think the market does not see it yet, because they're kind of evaluating it in terms of like other work from home stocks. And they're putting it in that area of like, oh, the growth is over. People got taste of like telehealth, like why would you waste your whole day of work when you just can easily take an appointment with a doctor, see a doctor, get a prescription renewed? If you do need to go see him, the doctor will say, hey, come to see me, and like stuff like that. I have personally used it, and like it's not Teladoc because in Canada we have Well Health, which I used, and it's wonderful. It works great. My doctor told me what I need to do, get this medication, everything is good. I'm like, awesome, perfect, everything's good. And like, if I do need to see them, they just kind of call me in. So it's kind of like, it's amazing. And that is one of the factors I love about that. I didn't have to waste my whole day. It was like a quick 10-minute call. And also this is another factor I love, is it gives access to medical to everyone. Because let's face it, you live in a rural area. Not everyone lives in urban or like kind of suburbs, kind of also still good areas. And they have access to doctors pretty quickly. And like rural, it's like you travel miles and miles to get a family doctor. And like what's the use of that? You're wasting so much time, and you're not like the productivity is like so much gone. And it's stuff like that, it's that kind of adds in and give access to everyone, the healthcare. And that's, I think, it's very important, and which is something I'm really vouch for. And I think that it's something that will not change. I think people would now got the taste, they want it, they want to have Teladoc in the future. And I think that is just, and I think it's catalyst ahead, and we're gonna get more visibility. I think come February-ish, when they kind of like release their quarterly earnings, I think then we can get an idea of how the synergy is working, how everything is connecting with Livongo, how everything is panning out. And until that, I think it just creates a good buying opportunity. It's like you can see is that ARC has been continuously picking up shares, and same thing with me. I did pick up shares, and I do see that the catalyst for another growth is coming for Teladoc, and I think they have good management. They kind of have the same mentality as the Livongo management, which is like under promise and over deliver. That's what they've been doing. That's what always Livongo did. And from what I read, Teladoc is kind of doing the same thing. I did the same thing, so it's kind of cool. So to have that, because you don't want to overpromise and under deliver, right? Then your stock is just gonna get plummet and hit hard. So it's a good thing to kind of always do that way. And they have a good management, a good structure, good team. And I think now with these two connected together, it just created a behemoth in healthcare and just a growth loop, and all in one, everything in one. Everybody loves that. It makes it easy to use, easy to understand platform, and you just don't get, you don't have to use a multiple providers, multiple this, multiple that. Everything is in one. Everybody's happy. At the end of the day, consumer will be happy. And I think they are positioned, and I think they're one of the only that has this kind of a hole in one platform in the market, because everyone is kind of offering one or the other, right? It's like, oh, I'm offering diabetics, or I'm offering telehealth, or I'm offering pharmacy stuff, So it's like kind of one thing. I think potentially maybe they can move to pharmacy. Yes. I don't have that yet, but I think that's a potential thing. Yeah. Sorry about that, I dropped my mic. So but yeah, so that's about it, I think, for this video in terms of like Teladoc, and why I see the huge potential in front of them and the growth in front of them, honestly. But I hope it gave you some information that you need, and like hope you like this video, and like it was bombarded with a lot of stuff, but I hope it was insightful in general. So yeah, so thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I wish you a wonderful day,